Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am Linda Israel, and thank you so very much for coming to my live stream here on YouTube. I greatly appreciate your support and for taking the time to come here and hang out. There are a few things that I want to go over before the actual live started, so this is a recording. First of all, I want to make sure that you like this video and subscribe, so give it a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate that. When you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell up in the corner. That way you'll get a notification whenever I upload a video. I have a broadcast post or even a live stream. If you're watching this video as a replay and you're on a computer, look for the little gear at the bottom. You can change the speed to speed it up. Or if you're on a mobile device, look for the little three dots and usually you can change the playback speed there. My live streams generally last about 2 hours. They can go as long as 3 hours. It kind of depends on what we're working on that day and how the feedback is in the chat. While you're watching, you earn junk bucks. So if you are here in order to get those junk bucks accumulating, go ahead and type hello in the chat and my little bot, Junkie Joe, will see you and then you'll start accruing junk bucks. And you're wondering, well, what do I do with those junk bucks? Well, you can accumulate those, and once you have 2,000 of them, you can type !award and you can redeem them for a $10 off coupon to my shop. You can earn junk bucks while you're here and when you are chatting, as well as when you play the in-chat game. So look for those as they come up, and if you make a donation. For those of you that make a donation during my live stream, make sure that you go over to my website at lindaisrael.com, and if you haven't already done so, create a user account. When you make a donation during my live stream, basically you're buying a membership to my website and to the live stream. In my opinion, what we're doing is you're accumulating that money in my account. Thank you for that donation. And as a reward, you will get 5% off your orders at lindaisrael.com. And during the live stream, if I have a journal that I'm giving away at the very end, you are eligible to win that journal. Anybody that makes a donation gets into that drawing by manually typing in the raffle at the end, but then you also get the discount membership on my website. Thank you to Robin, who is my administrator during the live stream. She helps me out with answering questions as well as giving information. She is also my administrator over at the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you haven't joined that group, please do. We'd love to have you over there. You're welcome to share what you're working on. Speaking of sharing, during the live today, you can speak up in the chat and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel. You will not be able to share your link to your channel, but you can at least say, hey, my name is, and this is what I do. And then your friends that come into the chat can follow each other. Let's keep the chat upbeat, friendly, and helpful. If you will be kind to those that are here. If you have a question, put it in all caps and I'll do my best to answer those. The chat sometimes goes pretty fast, so I don't always see it, so do ask again. And at the same time, if you're in the chat and you know the answer to somebody's question, please speak up and give them the answer. Check the description box for links to products that I share today. Yes, I am an Amazon affiliate, which means I do get a commission on items that you purchase through my link. If you're going to buy something anyway, I greatly appreciate it. It does not cost you any extra. It just gives me a little bit of a commission, which helps me buy products to show you here. If you win one of the raffles, you can start right now by typing !raffle. Do make sure that you go over to my website, and if you haven't already created a user account, that way I will have your contact information so I can send you your prize. I am starting a raffle right now that is for 200 junk bucks, so you can get well on your way to accumulating your junk bucks. Let's have some fun today and let's get started. Thanks everybody for being here. Hello? I think we're live. Is it working? Hello? Hello? Let me know if you can hear me. Where do I need to register? Would What are you registering for? Go ahead and type a exclamation point raffle if you haven't already. Hey. Yeah, on my website, or you can send me an email at lindaisrael.com if you want to create an account on my website. Currently, I have that disabled because I was getting like 1,000 spam accounts created a day. Okay, yay, you can hear me. Is this live or Memorex? It's live, I tell you, it's live. Welcome. So glad you're here. Thank you. Yeah, and the pre-recorded you got, yeah. Robin has to work until 5 p.m. and depending on when she gets done, she may be mentally exhausted and she may not be able to pop in. So keep her in your thoughts because I know she's working hard recently. Her boss has made some changes in what she does, and so she's supposed to take over some more responsibilities, and so apparently she's going to be working a lot. So thank you for being here today. So we're going to continue working on this paper bag album that I started last week. I had some paper sacks. I'll get one out for you that measure approximately, let's turn the ruler around so I get the right end, 15 1/4 inches tall by 8 1/2 inches wide. And if you consider the depth, it's about 6 inches in depth. So when you open this up, it can hold quite a bit. I ended up getting these from a grocer supply. In your city, you may have such a thing. Just look up grocery supply, restaurant supply, and a lot of times they offer these things. You could also go on Amazon. Use my link below for one of the other Amazon items, and then just do a search for the size of paper bag that you like. I did that the other day and there was all kinds of options. So it just kind of depends upon what you want. And you can make this with smaller bags, but this one makes it quite large. So it ends up being about 8 inches by about 8 1/2 inches in size. So that kind of gives you an idea. I like it because it gives you a little bit more space to work with, but yet it's not huge. So that's one way to, use up some more of your supplies. So last week I showed you how to add the gel prints and digital images to the pages. And then we went ahead and made a journal card. I added some more to the paper bags, and I also opened the bottom of the paper bag so that we could put a card in there. And then I used some copy paper and made it so where these flip out. Here's another gel print, another card that I made. I added an element from Dancing Dragonflies, and then this is one of Calico Collages images. And I just had some blank cards I put in there. There's a bigger pocket here so that if you want to put a second journal card, you could. On this side, I made a pocket to put this mixed media card that I backed with another piece of paper. And then it's hard to get to, but there is another card in there. I made this an acetate window. You could use sheet protectors. I just found a whole package. I don't know what I just did with them. I moved them. Here they are. A whole package from close to my heart. See, they even got dust in them. That are memory protectors. So these would be perfect to cut up and use for a project like that. So if you have some of those that you aren't using, maybe the holes, don't work anymore to put in a journal. Who knows? Or you just don't do that kind of style of journaling. Oh, I just put it in upside down. You can make your own little window. So you can check out last week's video. I think I did put a link in the description box below. So if you miss it and you want to go back and watch it, you can. Okay, now I can't get the card in there. I got it in there last time. Why aren't you going this time? Sometimes I have to look at it to see what I've done. I think I'm hitting the back portion. There we go. I should have probably made that card a little bit narrower, but who did? All right, and then these are some more copy papers. There's some more decoration of the page. I think what I'm going to do is start with this one today. I posted this in the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. I also posted it on my page, and I think I posted it in Byland to Israel, so it's out there. There's a lot of options. The background is from Sea Breeze, and it was a piece of cardstock that I had left over from printing and doing this journal, I guess, a year or so ago. And I put that over what would be the bottom of the grocery sack. So what we're looking at right here is this piece. And I just covered it. And then I glued here and here, and that gives us a pocket. And this was a greeting card that was given to me. It had, the back had been written on, and I just cut it off since this left the opening. And I thought it was just something different to put in there. I thought I would add this little layered element. So here's what I did so that you can do this yourself if you so choose. If you like creative pockets, you want a different way to make a pocket. Well, here's how I did this. I took a piece of cardstock and I measured it to be what I need in my book. And in my case, let me get my other ruler. It's easier to see the numbers. In my case, when I have the finished pocket, it was 4.5 inches. So I cut my piece of paper to be 5.5 inches wide by almost, well, I guess it is 6 inches tall. Then what I did was I scored down the sides. I went ahead and did a half circle punch to make like a thumb hole. Then I folded in those sides at the top portion. That's going to be the bottom pocket. And then on this one, I folded in the sides. And I used my corner rounder to round the corners. I usually cut these at a corner so that when they're in, they don't poke up above. Get the words out, Linda. They don't poke out above the pocket. And then when you fold this all together, then you get this pocket that has a flap here that you can put things in. And I left the tabs on the sides here so we can put things in that part of the pocket. So what I want to do with this is, it's just plain cardstock at the moment. And I think we need to add some kind of decoration to it. I'm going to grab a scrap of paper here. And let's see. I think I want to stamp over this, and this element is going to go right here. I'm going to get out my archival ink. I don't have a, I forgot what that's called all of a sudden. I've already forgotten the name. What is the name of that? Oh my gosh. It's a specialty flower that you see in tropical situations, and all of a sudden the name of that got away from me. Anyhow, I was going to stamp the back of this with a flower, so I pulled out, I can't believe I found it, can't remember the name of that, and I'm going to use, this is a smaller stamp that I have in my shop. I think this is called like a geranium, small geranium, and I think I just want to stamp it all over. And I'm trying to decide if I want to stamp it to where you can see the image. Yeah, I think why not? So I'm going to stamp it, kind of turning the stamp every so often and stamping it over the edge. And then I'll go over here. Okay, and then go this way. Hey, Sheila, welcome. We got Naomi, and we've got Margie. We got Call Me Glitter and Sheila here that has spoke up in the chat. All right, so those are on there. And then I was going to put this right here in the middle. What else does it need? Do we need to try to color those flowers or leave them the way they are? Hey, Jennifer, welcome. Hello. We have missed Margie. I'm trying to decide what should we do. I may want to look to see if I have a piece of paper that would fit behind that. And I thought I saw, I put all the bits and pieces that I've been using this journal in a little bin. I thought I saw, I got this piece of red. So what if I were to cut that? That would make a nice accent on there, right? I think so. I'm looking to see if there's anything else I see right off the bat, but I think this will work. Okay. We've all missed you, Margie. We're so glad you're here today. All right. I think I'm going to cut this just to be a little bit of a... I don't need it very big, so I'm going to narrow it down a little bit. I like cutting this way, so you do. Tear it. You love tears? You want me to tear it for texture. Okay, I won't cut it then. I'll tear it. All right. So the first thing I want to do is, if I want the whole thing to be torn, I need to tear this edge first. And then I'm going to go down just a little bit. And I want to make sure that it will fit. And then I just need to barely tear this side. It may be too small now, but let's see. Okay, that's what it looks like with the tear. Debbie's here. Hello. Nice to have you here, Debbie. All right. All right, Naomi, I did it. Do you like it? Do you like the result? I'm going to add some Distress inks to the edges. All righty. How is everybody? Y'all having a great start to your week? Did you have a good week last week? Tell me all about it. I worked a little bit in the yard, not a lot. I worked in my craft room, and I worked in our garage, and then we have what's called a sunroom on the back of our house that has become a storage dumping ground. So I was rearranging and getting rid of things in our garage and in that room. You knew the Distress ink was coming? And I've got a bunch of things I'm going to be donating to our local thrift store that I like to go to. I've got a bunch of things that are trash. And then another thing that I'm thinking of doing is I've got 2 boxes that I've been putting stuff in there. Ah, Debbie's your mom. Okay, gotcha. Hello, Debbie. I've got 2 boxes that I've been filling up with crafty supplies that I probably won't ever use, or I had an abundance of. So I'm going to show you part of one. I don't know how much it's going to weigh, but it's got all kinds of, like, these are tags from clothing. These are some chipboard pieces. Here's some more little journal cards, some more tags, some ephemera, some fuzzy yarn and sparkly yarn, and this is like a receipt book. This is some Tim Holtz binding, some more little tags. There's papers. There's a 2019 planner. You could use the pages to write in your journal. You know, use it as journaling paper. You could, if you don't want to have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you could just cut that part off and use it. It looks like a paper sack. I've got some more paper sacks. There's some fabric. I don't know. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I've been putting in here, and I'm trying to decide if I want to just put it on my website, that I have 2 of them. I may do a flip through video of them, and then I'll just offer them for a price plus the sparkly yarn for shipping, because I don't know how much shipping is going to be yet. It'll all be based upon how heavy that comes out to and your location. So some places that are closer, it won't cost as much as if it did if we sent it overseas. All right, I'm going to take this piece and cut it down. So that was, that, paste it down, glue it down. That's some of what I've been doing. I also worked on, I got a little cabinet that I've been replacing all the bins with actual little drawers that I made, and I ended up with lots of little cubbies that I can put things in, and I've been going through the stuff that I have, trying to decide, does it deserve a space or does it need to find a new home? And that's kind of what I did with that box. I just started adding stuff to it. So lots of space and a lot more sleep. You're good, March. God, you're good. You were having an existential crisis. Oh, well, I'm glad that you got some rest, I hope. Okay, the chat's going so fast, I'm trying to count it. All right. I like that. And then we're going to layer these two pieces on here. I'm trying to decide, do I want to make them straight? Do I want to put them to one side? I had thought of putting it in the middle. I think that's what I wanted to do. And I feel like I want one other something to go on here. I'm looking to see if I have something readily available. It can't be much bigger. I know. I've got some butterflies. We'll get those out. That's what I'll do. Okay, so I'm going to glue down this piece of paper, which is a gel print. So I'm going to put that down first, kind of in the center. And then I'm going to get my Beacon 3-in-1 glue and glue that down on top. Since it's painted paper, it's a gel print. Alrighty. Sometimes I get sleepy and I just want to go to bed. Gems or ribbon would be another idea. Yes, I have some little butterflies, so I wanted to see if one of those would work. They may be too big. They're stickers. So let's pull out the sheet. So they're, I don't know if one, maybe this yellow or this one. I could put it as a diagonal right here so it doesn't interfere with the pocket. And then you kind of get that bling effect around there. Or we can do this one. I think I like the bottom one. And I do have some gems, so I'll get the gems out. All right, so let's stick this down. Apparently, I didn't get that in the center. Oh, this is interesting. The sticker isn't coming off the sheet. I need my other glasses so I can see what's going on here. See if I can use a pen or a needle. There we go. It was just taking the carrier paper off, or not, it was taking the, it was not separating from the carrier paper. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, I like that. There, so we got a little butterfly. It's kind of 3D. It's got the little flappies there, but at the same time, it'll be flat. All right, and then gems. Yeah, buttons would be another thing. You know, I don't really use buttons because they're bulky, and I do not like the bulk in my journal. That is just me. That's who I am. So if you like using them, please be my guest and do so. I think I'm going to put a gem right here in the middle. I know I just saw my scissors. There they are. See if I can get one of this off of the carrier sheet. Oh! It went flying up into my hair. Do y'all see it? Oh, I found it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm trying to get it so the sticky side stays down. Put it right here in the middle. Hibiscus! That's the flower. I now remember what the flower is. So anyhow, I've got a box of goodies that I'm trying to fill up with lots of things that I don't use or have extras of. And hopefully if I get it all put together, I'll probably, like I said, I've got 2 of them that I'm doing. I'll probably put it as a product in my D-stash on my website. And I haven't decided the price range. There's going to be $100+ worth of items in there. I even found some craft magazines that I don't refer to anymore. So I'm going to probably put some of those in there. It's going to be heavy. And like I said, it'll be full of a lot of stuff. This was a journal card. I do not know where it came from. It may have been given to me. I had 2 sets of them. So I grabbed one of those sets to put in here, making sure that I don't get into the glue. And then someone had sent me this image with the sunflower, and it's a little card. It's thin. I've got this one and 2 other images that were in that package. And what was interesting is I found the same image somewhere else that had been used by somebody, but it wasn't the same people. It was kind of weird. So I thought that was interesting, and that's why I remembered the story about using it. Somebody gave it to me. All right, and then this is from the Sea Breeze kit, and I went ahead and printed some of the ephemera because I noticed that I didn't really have a lot of beachy ephemera or summer ephemera, so I thought that would be a good addition to this. And then I printed a few of the tags from that same kit, trying to get them arranged. I'm trying to decide if I want this one back here and maybe make it look layered. Yeah, that's better. So now we got that cool layered effect, right? All right, now let's go to this side. And what I have over here, if I can get the paper clip, there it is I've got some Italian paper. If you don't know the story, many, many years ago, I'll pull it out here. It was sent to me in November of 2000. So how many years ago was that, y'all? Can you do the math? And I still have it in the same envelope. She was making invitations, a wedding anniversary or wedding invitations, and all of these pieces had the shape of the envelope cut out of it. And she just couldn't throw it away. She said, I don't want to throw that away. Somebody can use that. And she sent some to me. And I've been using it ever since. So I took one of those pieces that was the right size and trimmed it. And I added a piece of book page behind it and made gussets. And then I sewed on top of it. So that's going to be a pocket across our page here. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Yeah, you love your Italian paper, yeah? Ah, Margie says she has a couple sets of button dies and a button punch that she likes to make flat buttons with. That's another alternative. Perfect. Yeah, definitely. My husband shouted out 25. It's a long time ago, right? I've had that for 25 years. Can you believe it? When I think of that, I'm like, wow. You know, when I had it for 10 years, it was like, wow, I've had this for 10 years. And then I've had it for 20 years. And now it's 25 years. Pretty crazy. So that's part of the reason I'm trying to thin out my craft room. I haven't purchased any paper other than copy paper to print upon. Everything else I have in my stash I've had now. I think the last time I bought paper was early last year because I went someplace and they had a big, big sale and I bought just a couple of things. Oh, I know I bought some at Dollar Tree for $1.25. I figured that was okay because it was just a small pack, and I've used several of them. But I'm trying to use up the stuff that I have. Okay. This is also from the Sea Breeze kit, and I just thought it would look pretty on top of there. But I feel like it may need something else. I'm going to let that stew for a moment. Let that be contemplated about. I've got another one of these journal cards that I'm going to put in here. I think I need to lay something heavy. There we go. Over the pocket. It was curling up on me. So I layered out a few things that I had while I was cleaning. I came across a package of some Canvas Corp brands stuff, and I thought this was kind of neat. Just home is where you drop your anchor, stop and smell the sea air, relax and unwind. So this is kind of summer themed, I thought, in my ideal of thinking of this. And then I had this piece of copper cardstock, and I'm trying to decide if I just want to center it. I think so. I think I can cut this smaller and put it in the center. And then I had this piece of chocolate with the foiled fleur-de-lis. I think that's a fleur-de-lis. Is it? I think it's upside down. I just noticed. Should go that way. Got to make sure to put it right side up. So let's measure this out or mark it out. So I'm thinking if I put it to where I have a little bit of a border all the way around, probably be easier if I just went over to my paper cutter here and pulled this out and think about the size I want to make that. So if I cut that to 4, let's do 4 1/4 and see if that's enough. If I put that on here, yeah, that made it a nice little border all the way around, didn't it? I think that works. Okay. And then I have this little square, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. And so I was thinking of just making a little square out of the fleur-de-lis. So if I go 3.5 inches, is that enough? Gives us a little bit of 1/4 of an inch all the way around. I think that would be a good amount of edge around it. Yeah, good way to use up the specialty papers. Exactly. All right, so we're going to go to, I don't know why this must not have been 3 inches square. 3 by 3, yeah. So that should have come out to 3.5. I guess I slid over. There we go. That's what happened. I was like, that's not looking right. So I got a couple little scraps there. Yeah, and I found this scrap because I have this. I'll show you this little sorting thing I have. I got this little sorting thing 2018, I think, from Canvas Corp brands. This was something that they used in stores to sell their products. And I have put things in there, and I try to refer to it. These are all blank items, base items. And if you can see that sticking out there, I have some metallic paper that I found that was in here. I think that was the only color that I had right there. I've also got some colored envelopes. It's kind of fun. Another storage way, you can get yourself a box, like an old shoe box or something like that, and put dividers in it based off of the common sizes that you like to use, and then put it where you can reach it when you're working on your journals, and then you can have pretty much blank cards that you can play with. All right, so then this piece, I want to make sure I got it going the right way. I was going to put up here like that. And then I guess we could put the word journal. I think I saw one. Oh yeah, I just found this. It was a piece of fabric that I had stamped on. I don't know if this is too big. Oh, it's too big, but that would look cool, wouldn't it? I could use this piece. So if I cut this, make sure I got it going right side up. I could put that down here on the bottom, and this will be a little journal card. What do you think? Yeah, maybe. Should I do it? I'm going to. I'm going to get a drink first. You have button ties too? Yeah, there's lots of ways to make paper buttons if you want. I'm just watch those videos. I was talking to my husband the other day about somebody that wanted to know how to do something, and they had asked me a question. I said, why don't you just go do a search on Google and see if there's a video or a tutorial on a blog somewhere. And they're like, I never thought of that. I'm like, dude, I do it all the time. That's how I learn stuff. I either find out if I need to buy a book, or if I can go to the library and get the book, or watch a video. Sometimes there's a blog post you can go to and read, and it has step-by-step instructions. Knowledge is king. You have to have knowledge in your life. Got to always keep learning new things. It keeps your brain active. All right, I think that looks pretty cute. Now, I could sew on that. If that's something y'all want me to do, just comment sew, and I will sew those two pieces together. Just adding a little bit of distress inks to this copper paper. I've already done the brown, so I'm going to do, or not the cardstock, craft cardstock. Now I'm going to do the brown piece. Did y'all talk about Jennifer while she was gone? Because she had to leave for a second, she says. All right, I'm going to glue these together. And then if y'all message back that you want me to sew, I will do so. I will do the sewing. Sew with pretty thread. Well, it'll be black thread. That's what I use. So perfect, Margie. All right, I'm layering this on here. I'm going to turn on the sewing machine. Okay. All right. I don't know if I've got the camera set up, so we may have to wiggle in a moment. I think since we're going to sew, I'm going to sew around. Do I want to do that one? Or sew on this piece here? I think I want to sew here on that portion. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and I'm going to add a little dot or two of glue to the fabric just to help hold it in place while I sew. Okay, that's in place, and now I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here. And add that on here. Make sure I got it right side up. I did. Like so. Okay. So. All right, let's get out the sewing lamb. Thank you, Giovanna, for this little sewing lamb. So they're going to sew now. I'm going to click on the sewing, and I may have to adjust the camera. So bear with me a moment as it decides whether or not it's going to transition over. Sew your card gently round the edge. Perfect, Margie, perfect. Alrighty. So I'm going to just sew around this outside perimeter of this piece. I'm using black thread in the top and the bottom. I hardly ever change the color of my thread because black really stands out on all the things that I work on the best. And specialty threads are really difficult to sew with. Trust me, it's a pain. Henry has to use metallic gold every once in a while, and he hates it. So I don't use the specialty threads. I do have a spool of some kind of a satiny color that, or satiny thread that my father-in-law gave us to give to Henry because he thought he might use it on the embroidery machine. And I don't think it's the kind of thread he would ever use, but I may give it a go to see if it'll work in my sewing machine to do things like this. And if I remember correctly, it's kind of a purple color. It's in the other room. I saw it the other day. I haven't done anything with it yet. Okay, and then go this way. So that just added some stitching to that. And let's do this piece. You lost your shoes? You haven't worn shoes in over 2 years, Margie? You haven't left your house in 2 years, so you don't wear shoes? You wear flip-flops or slippers? I have to wear shoes. I don't know why, but I have to have something. I don't go outside barefoot, that's for sure. I used to. When I was a kid, I was all summer long, I was barefoot. Because we couldn't afford shoes. So Mom would say, I'm not buying any shoes for the summer. So you can choose to go barefoot, or we buy those really cheap flip-flops that always broke. Or I went barefoot. Alright, sewing around. That kind of gives it a good little definition around the edge there. Okay. Alrighty, we stitched. We did some stitching. Alright, so this is going to go down here, and these pieces are going to be glued on here. So I'm going to get out the beacon glue. Ah, nothing on your feet. So you have a cat that likes to be in the way, so you can kind of feel your way, right? You know if you're going to be stepping on a critter. I get it. Alrighty, I think I'm going to kind of put it halfway between, right about there. I think that looks good. Alright, and then this little leaf, if I can get a hold of it. Alright, now, it's so smooth. There it goes. I couldn't quite get my finger under it. So it looks like the leaf kind of goes that way. So I'm thinking of putting it in the corner here. So I'm going to glue that down first. You could also glue it to the back of the flower in a spot and then put it down. Oh no. Naomi, are you okay? You don't have to share here, but just say if we need to be praying for you, we will. We can chat off of here later if you would like. So I'll be praying for you. I hope that you said MRI, CT. Yeah, prayers for Naomi. I haven't been to the doctor in years. I went to the dentist earlier this year. I go again in June. I haven't been to a regular doctor in a long time. There's nothing wrong with me. All right, I'm going to press this down. I think this is going to look pretty cute. And then I'm going to put this on the front of here. Just smoothing that out a little bit. All right, let's glue those to them. Yeah, okay. Well, I hope they find the cause and that it isn't as severe as you think it is, that God's got control of it and will take care of that for you. I know you got all those kids to raise. He can't let you leave the earth yet. So I hope they get you some good news. All right, let's put this down here. So this is a piece of cardstock that was already folded and cut to this size. And I thought, well, I think it will fit perfectly in this pocket right here. It may stick out, but that's okay. I should have probably put the pocket down further on the page, but that's okay. Now, do we want to go ahead and add a couple of pieces of paper to the inside, or just leave it as it is? Because you never know, the day that you decide to journal, you may want something else. So this measures to be about 10.5 inches by 8 inches tall. Okay. It's pressing on your spinal cord. Oh. Oh my goodness, Naomi. Well, I hope that they can show you. We can do this. It'll be good. Alrighty. I'm thinking, let's grab a couple of pieces of paper. Do we want to stay with more yellow? I've got some yellows up here, so let me grab a couple. Helps me use up some of this paper. I have so much. All right, so I know I need to cut this down because the journal itself is 8 inches tall, and I'll want these to be a little bit shorter. So I'll make these 7 3/4 of an inch tall. Right, but you're not dying, but you're in a lot of pain and mental. Yeah, I can imagine. That's crazy, crazy. I tell you. So what do we want to do here? So if I cut this down, if we make it 10 inches because the cover is 10.5. Okay, yeah, 10 inches. So that'll make it shorter inside. Okay. Yeah, it is draining to convince doctors of. For those of you that don't know, I suffered many years from endometriosis, and I also got ovarian cysts, and I would just complain of the pain that I was in, and they didn't have a solution other than more drugs. I also was suffering from severe migraines that were debilitating, and I was taking narcotics to get rid of those. And finally, the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, in 2004, I basically doubled over and kind of collapsed while I was at work because I was having severe cramping. And come to find out, I was trying to pass the entire lining of my uterus. So on February the 14th, I went in and they surgically removed my girl parts, my insides. So I no longer had ovaries, and I no longer had a uterus. And it took a little bit, but eventually I started not having the severe migraines as much. I didn't have the pelvic pain. I was always anemic, so I was no longer anemic. I was healthy. So I understand trying to get that. And I was 34 when I did all that. So I get it. It's no fun because they don't listen. They're like, no, you're fine. You're just being a baby. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm in freaking pain. Help me. Fix it. Find out why. So I stopped having all that pain. Right now I'm having pain with my hips, which I've had on and off since I was in the Army. And so I'm trying to decide what to do. I've been trying to do some stretches and things at home. I don't really want to go to a doctor because they're just going to say, well, here, take this pain medication. And I'm like, no. Yeah, exactly. They don't make any money if they don't heal you. If they heal you, then they're done. So if they don't heal you, then you'll come back. It's really dumb. And they say, you know, I will not, the Hippocratic oath, I will do no harm. Well, you are. Always. I did go for quite a long time to a chiropractor, and he made the biggest difference in how I felt. And he wasn't trying to sell me on a bunch of medication. I just went in for an adjustment, and it made a difference. All right, let's fold that over. So now we've got a little journal, so we can write inside the cover. You could add a pocket if you want. And then just 4 pieces of, or what is this? 12 pages, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. That's what I'd be considered, front and back. And so this will go in our pocket there. And I have this journal card that I was going to put in here, but I kind of feel like I'll put it down there. All right, so now that we've done that, what can we put with this? You know, I want to look to see if I have some ribbon, maybe a piece of ribbon behind there. Let me look to see what I have in my yellows. I store mine in one of these iris boxes. Okay, let's put that out of the way. I see this is a narrow. This one's kind of got a little white dot stitching on the edges. This one's really dark. I think maybe we can use this one. Let's see how it looks. I just took all my ribbon and wound it around pieces of cardboard that I cut to fit after I made little channels. These were a scrapbook divider that I had, and I just cut it, and then I used packing tape to tape it at the top and the bottom. I know it's hard to see on the camera. And then I just wound my ribbons around and used straight pins to hold it in place. And this works for me because if I know I want yellow ribbon, I just go to this box and I can pull it out and use what I have. Maybe, yeah, I got some yellow ribbon. I'm thinking maybe make it like a little X. Let me get my fabric scissors here. So let's cut another piece. All right. So if I were to just kind of lay that and then put this over the top of it, I kind of like that. I just saw something else I might want to use too. Pop that back in here. I just saw this. This is just a little scrap of lace. I don't know if it's enough, but what if we did something like that? Does that look good? Can you see that? I could alter the lace by spraying it with tattered angels and maybe pick this more orange to red color. Hey, Amanda Dawn, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Dropping stuff. Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, now Oreo's gonna bark. Goofy dog. I'm kind of thinking I want to spray that with an orange color. Let's see. Yellow, orange. I may not have one that... There's an orange. That's a bright orange. Yellow, 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 yellow. I don't want yellow. I want orange. This is golden orange. There's not much in there. All right, let's put this back. Okay, he's barking like crazy, so now I have to go see if he needs help. He may be trapped or something. What? What's your deal? He was trying to go down the ramp. We have a little ramp off of the sofa, and he was just stuck on top of it. Goofy dog. All right, let's see. Yeah, he's in there. I was like, I better go check on him to see what's going on. How did angels get tattered? They got to my craft room. They battled demons, exactly. All right, let's get a piece of paper. All right. I don't know if these are going to work, but we're going to try. First, I'm going to see if I can clean the sprayers a little bit. If they sit for a while, they have a tendency to get clogged up. So I've sprayed a little bit of water or alcohol on there. Can you hold Oreo? Maybe he misses you. He's getting harder and harder for him to walk, harder and harder for him to stand up. It's just really, really sad. All right, let's see if this one works. Okay, that's what I thought. I've got a paintbrush here, so I'm going to try something. Let me see if this one works. Yeah, nope. Okay. There's not much in here, so I'm going to open this up and get a paintbrush and see what happens if I just kind of paint. Just kind of dyeing it in a sense, so I know I'm putting it on rather sloppy, but what I'm going to do is grab my water spray bottle and then spray it with water, which will help dilute it a little bit. But I don't know, I kind of like this color. Okay, let's spray it. There's still a tiny, tiny bit left. I could use something with it. Put that over here. All right. H2O. I'm just kind of dipping it into the color. Okay. Now I'm going to lay it over here on this side. And let's clean off my hands, get my heat tool. If you don't have a heat tool, you can use your hair dryer. Keep it on a low warm setting. You can set it aside to dry for a little while, to air dry. Oh, okay, the heavy thunderstorm's coming. I was wondering, so if I lose connection, it's probably because we had a power outage due to high winds or thunder or lightning, not thunder, lightning that hit a transformer or took a line down or a pole down. Please do not panic. I'll be okay. You like these colors? You love these colors, Amanda? Thank you. All right, I think this will be... Just got to get it dry. Okay, it feels dry to touch. So we'll put this in here. All right, so my thought was that shows up a little better, I think. And then this will go like this. And then this will go on top. Like that. You like it? All right, so I'm going to take this piece. I think what I'm going to do is put a little glue on the back of here. And just kind of make an X. Do I have it go in the right direction? Like that. And then I think that'll work. Okay, so now that I kind of have a idea of where it goes, I'm just going to add a little bit more glue under the X. And then I'm going to put a little glue here. Lay that down. And let's put glue on the back of this and then press it all into place. Okay. Get it right side up. And we're going to put it here. You can smell the rain. It hasn't started yet. Put your phone on the charger. I have batteries. And I have a generator. I think about it. What is that thing called? A generator. All right, so I'm going to lay an acrylic block on this for a moment so that can be soaking up there. All right, so I kind of added some decoration to this. We could also add some bling. Let's check it out, see what I got. Got some bigger pieces here. So let's add a little bit bigger piece. Maybe like right here. Oh, turn over. There. Just making sure there's no glue seeping out behind that lace. Okay, that looks pretty good. Put this away. Oh, yeah. You're going into winter frosty here this morning. Need to get the ice off your car. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I've got a pocket here and I want to put something in it. So what should we do? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'll just tell you. We're going to make a journal. So I've got a piece of cardstock from Canvas Corp Brands. And I have a mixed media print that I made that is a book page that I put white acrylic paint on. I thought it was upside down, but I can't tell. And it's in a different language, so I put white acrylic paint on it, and then I stamped the flowers with the leaves and the bees all over. Then I watercolored that piece of paper. Then I took this piece of paper and scanned it on my computer, and I ended up changing the hue. And so I got several different colorways from one project, and I thought it looked really cool, so I just used that. Cool random facts. Hey, hello! Ooh, you're getting ready to cook. Nice. All right, so this piece, I got to make sure I going in the right direction. Okay, I do. This piece I'm going to glue onto the back of here and trim off the excess. So I'm just going to grab my Aleene's tacky glue. Like so. And glue this in place. I'm going to wrap the paper around the cardstock. So right now my goal is to get this piece adhered, and then I'll trim it and start folding the edges over. Thank you so much. So you can make your own papers. Just have to have a little bit of creativity. Think about what you're doing and have fun. I think there's a live stream and there may be a video, a separate tutorial. I can't remember. I've done this several times. All right, so I'm just going around the edges and cutting the corners off like so. I'll get rid of those. If this is cardstock here, if this was a piece of cardstock that came from Canvas Corp Brands, it was one of their designer lines that they'd come out with, and it was supposed to be a different print on the other side, and so it got rejected to sell in their store, and I ended up with a bunch of those rejects, but they're perfectly usable for crafting. Alrighty, let's glue this piece down. And then I'm going to glue this piece down. So if you haven't figured it out yet, this is going to be part of a cover for a journal. If you want it to be thicker, you can use a couple of sheets of cardstock or some junk mail. Maybe you've got a oversized postcard or just layers of junk mail. Just keep gluing it together until you get the thickness that you want. You could use book pages. Okay. Then go this way. Alrighty. I should have folded it first. I keep doing that. Alright, so now more yellow, right? I've got these two pieces, and if you kind of see the direction of the patterns, they're going to go as a cover. I found, where did I do with it? Here it is. I have a piece of fabric that I thought would go well enough. It has the same shade of pink in it. To use that to bind it together. What do you think? I think that'll work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay this down. I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. Yeah, if I do it like that and go off the center. I'm just trying to see how I can judge how far. Okay. I go like that and go like that, I want to glue it so that there's a little bit of space in the middle. I'll glue this over and then I can use that as my spine. So I'm going to get my tacky glue here and make a little line. And then using this as a guide, I'll lay it down onto the fabric. And then we'll do this side. Okay. There's not going to be very many pages in this journal, so I'm okay with using the fabric like this as the spine. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this piece. I'm going to fold it over and glue it down. Got a little bit more glue right there. Okay, and then this piece I want to come up and over, but I don't want it to go all the way. So I'm going to hold it in place for a moment, get my scissors and cut it, a little bit shorter. There. Put the scissors back, put the scissors back. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece and add glue. And then I can pull this up and over, lining it up. And give that a moment to dry. And then this will fold. Okay, so while that's working its magic, I'm going to get 2 pieces of cardstock that I've pre-cut to fit. I'm out of the shots, are there? That'll fit right on top of that portion. It does cover up the fabric, but that's what will help stabilize everything. You're too far away from the Wi-Fi. Okay. I was in my backyard and I was trying to look something up because I was thinking about it while I was walking and I couldn't get connected to the Wi-Fi. I was like, oh, come on. So I finally gave up and changed my position and I was able to get connected. Okay. Make sure I've got that within. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll glue this piece on the other side. Alrighty, and then I'll put this right here and smooth that out. You want to live in a cabin? Oh, I didn't realize you lived in Sydney, I guess. Okay, so then this will be our cover for a journal. You like it so far? And it's a thinner cover, but that's okay. So what I did was I knew I didn't have pieces of paper that were 15 inches long. So here's a tip for you. Make your own. So I took a piece of copy paper and cut it to be the height I needed. And then I took some pages out of a Spanish version of Don Quixote. So it's in Spanish. And I cut those, and then on my mat that I have here, I measured out what 15 inches would be. And so I laid down my piece of paper here, and I knew that, for example, here's where I needed to end. So I just glued on both pieces and laid those down. And I did that on 5 sheets of paper. So, yes. When you put it in here, you've got this one. Then you've got a book page, and there's another piece of copy paper. There's a book page, and there's the center, and then it goes the other way. So every other page has the book page on there. Now, we could go ahead and add some embellishments to each of these. Since this is an insert journal, here was my thinking, is if you're going to be journaling with this, you may want this space to post a photo in here, or maybe you've got a piece of ephemera that you want to glue on here. So I'm going to leave it as blank. What are your thoughts on that? Oh, I lost half the audience. They're all talking about the weather. Oh, dear. All right, so I'm going to center this in my journal. Okay. All right. Like that. And then I need, we're going to bind 2 journals so far today. I'm going to use a template that's, I think, the right height. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so I need my pokey tool, and I need a needle. I got that. All right, so we got to put the template into the crevice and poke a hole all the way through. Okay. There we go. All right. Then I need 3 times the height. So 1, 2, 3. I'll cut this. You like the blank purple? The weather down under. I like this purple. I don't know if you call it. Oh, I was trying to remember the color of it. It was a really unusual color, and I bought it to go in one of the subscription boxes. And of course, when I do that, I always end up with extra that I can put into my stash of supplies. And I think I'm almost getting to the bottom of that ream of paper that I've had for a while now. Oh, my nails. I've had these on before, but I stamped in black over white, and then I used a dotting tool to add the little dots of gold all the way around. All right. Yeah, don't use up your data, Julie. Have a good time. Hopefully have good weather. Bye-bye. All right, now I just poked that. Sometimes when you're dealing with fabric, it can be difficult to spot where the hole is, so I have to re-poke it. All right, let's go under there. And I believe, okay, that looks pretty good. It wasn't looped around or had any slack in it, so now I'm just tying it off. Bye, Julie! Okay, got that. And I'm just going to trim this off so it doesn't poke past the bottom of the journal. Let's put my things back in here. Put all the tools away so I can find them another day. Okay. Put it back in its little drawer where it belongs. Alrighty. I haven't thought about what I want to put on the cover, if anything. So, let's look. I've got a few things we may or may not want to use. I'm just going to kind of... This was a watercolor card that I made. I don't know that that fits. I do have this pineapple. I've got a piece of coffee dyed paper here. We could do a little collage maybe. Got a little pineapple. Could add the little flower. I don't know if I want to add both. I don't know if the pineapple goes. Let's see. I could do it this way. And have that in the middle. Not necessarily what I want. I kept the cardstock. I could use a piece of this. Maybe cut this to be smaller. I don't know. I wanted to use this piece, but I don't know that it's coming together. Maybe I need to swap my thinking around. I could go across that way. I could put this way and this on here. And I feel like I need to decorate this portion. And the decorating phase begins. Okay. I think, do we need another piece? I just saw this. That may be too big. I don't know. I don't think we need a circle. Maybe a square. I think if we altered this piece, another idea I have, what if I got another piece of that Italian paper and put the Italian paper back here? Because we used it in another spot in the journal. Maybe that's what we need. Okay. So, I think I can get away with, yeah, probably this one. Let's look. All right. You say washi tape? I don't even know if I have any that I want to use. Okay. This is roughly 4 inches. So if I were to make that, that might, I don't know, that might work. Let's see. Got a little piece here. Oh, I just saw this. Maybe this might work. I don't know. All right, I'm just going to cut this off right about there. Oh, don't use the yellow rectangle. Is that what you think? Use yellow around the... That's where I had gotten to, but... Yeah. How about a yellow square? I could do that. I'm going to get a different piece because I may want to use this somewhere else. So I'm going to keep these together in case I want to use these in another place since I've already cut them. I'm going to take this piece and cut a square. Okay. 3-inch square would give us a nice small border around. I think that'll work. So that's what I'm going to do. There we go. Let's add some distress inks to it. Yeah, with the black over that. Yeah, well, you can see it on the back cover. You just don't see it on the front. But I think this works. It's much smaller, so we can see the paper. I think I'm going to cut this to be shorter. We could. No, I don't like it. I'm just trying to decide if I want to use that piece or if I just want to get rid of it altogether. No. It either has to go here like this or not at all. Right? What is it? Is it soft paper? This is cardstock. This is a doily, and this is paper, cardstock. This is watercolor paper. The Italian paper is a nice paper. Italiano. Bella. That's about all I know. You like the watercolor? Okay, I think I'm going to leave it. All right, so I'm going to take this and cut it probably right about there. And add some distress inks. Because then we're tying in the pieces. I almost wanted to put something in the corners of that. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put something on there on the back side in case we don't like it. And if we don't like it, I don't have to use it. So we get a scrap of paper here. This was my thought. So this would go in the middle, and then that would go on there. Do you like that look? I kind of like it, but let me know. I'll add some distress inks to it just in case. I could also add, since I stamped it, rhinestones in the center of each of the flowers. I'll add a little bit more distress ink to kind of give it a little grungier look. Okay, I think I like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is find the center and glue this down. Got a piece of fabric string going on. You need to be taken away. Yeah, the Italian paper I have is thinner. It's more like text weight paper. Nice text weight paper. Okay, let's put this right about here. Okay. And then I'll put the watercolor down. Oh, really? Was the pattern that I was showing of this Italian paper here was created in the 1600s, and it is still printed today on the same press. Blue rhinestones? Why do you want blue rhinestones? I don't even know if I have any, to be honest. I think most of mine are all clear. Okay, I'm going to glue this in the middle. Pineapple. All right, then we'll glue this down. You have your quota for today. Margie's learned something new and she's done. All right, let's put this down. I don't want to overlap it too much, so I'm just going to kind of position it here. This watercolor strip, I just took my watercolors and I cut 1 inch by 6 inch, I think, strips of paper, and then I just made little squares in various colors that I felt went together. All right, these are all my goodies. I'm going to put them back in my little envelope here. Yes, I did save that scrap. I'm going to put it in here in case we want it. You never know. It is possible. I didn't use any of these. You wanted me to use some washi tape, and I have a little piece. So let's see. If I were to, I'm just going to tear a piece off here. I could put some, I don't know. This is just what I have laying here, and I don't want to cover up the bee. There, I used a little piece of washi tape. That's it. That's all I'm going to use. All right. See, I have clear, 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 clear. I have turquoise. I have this shade of blue. Clear. Pearl. Clear. Do I have four? I have 4 of these smaller ones that I could put in the middle. So let's use those. All right, let's see if I can get that to come off the carrier sheet. There we go. Okay, this one's going to go here. This one will go here. I have a bunch of washi tape that I don't even use. I may put some of that in those boxes I'm making. There. Put this back in the little envelope so they don't lose the rhinestones. Yeah, see, that's just it. It's sticky, but yet it doesn't always stay stuck. You have to add glue to it to make it stay. So I put some down and I rubbed it really good, so hopefully it'll stick. Okay, I like it. Do we need a sentiment on here? I do have these. Let's see if there's any of those. She was adored by many. Your vibe attracts your tribe. That would be a good one. I think let's do that. Let's see how this looks. As I cut it out, we'll add it maybe to the corner. These are all from Calico Collage. I don't know. Margie, you've got several of Norella's books. Did she also include the word phrases like this in her books on Amazon? All right, let's add a little distress ink. What if we put it like here on the bottom? I don't know that it needs a mat, but if you think it does, let me know. I do have a piece of this copper. Or does that not fit? I'll tilt it to and fro so you can kind of see. See you later, Sheila. Thanks for coming by. I think that might be a good fit. I did save, believe it or not, a couple of pieces. I had this blue. Okay, perfect. That's all phrases? Okay, cool. Okay. She may just have what Margie just said. She just has a book that's all phrases. I don't think is the blue what we want, because then it'll pull that blue and this blue. I have orange, which is a completely different color than that's on the page. I'm kind of looking at it. And then I've kind of got this gold yellow that we could put on there. So I can't decide which one should we do. The blue, I don't know if the copper is the right fit. Yellow, blue, or copper? Let me know. While I clean up a few things here. Get another drink of water. Okay. Put these back over here. Stamp over here. I could probably take this into another week. I'm embellishing this journal. I'm having fun. Okay, I'm kind of leaning towards the blue. I like the blue and the copper. Okay, Amanda, I may go with the blue then. Margie says yellow. Okay, I've got 2 for blue, 1 for yellow. Here's your chance. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you really, really want. You want blue. You want yellow. You want copper. Or a stripe of each. I wonder. No, it's not bigger. I could do a little offset thing. Is that what you mean, Margie? Maybe I'll offset this just a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying not to interfere with this piece. You spaced out. 1 of each. Okay, let's see. I could put that up here, and then I have more room. I could do something like that. And just cut it even over here. Just make 2 more journals and do 1 of each. Gotcha. There you go, Amanda. That's the way to think about it. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. I think what I want to do first is cut this one to where there's just a nice little border all the way around. And then this one, I want to offset it a little bit. But I think I want it to be the same length on this side. I think. It's just a scrap of paper, Linda. It's no big deal. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this. I made it a little bit bigger. All right, and then I'm going to do this one. And hopefully it's not too big. Oh, it barely fits. So something like that. So it's kind of got that layered coming down effect. All right, let's add some distressings to these pieces. Uh-oh, you looked at your to-do list and completely spaced out, huh? Well, do you know what you got to do? All right, adding some distress inks to these pieces so they kind of match the vibe we have, so that our tribe can match that, right? I don't think I got this in. There we go. And I'm using up the scraps. We didn't throw those away today. No siree, Bob. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. All right, I'm going to put this in the middle of the blue. Don't want to do your to-do list? Well, do the most important thing on that list. That's what I'll tell you. If you don't want to do it, any of it, do at least the most important thing on that list. Okay. And the other thing you could do is do the hardest thing on the list, because it will be done and you won't procrastinate anymore to do the rest of the list. All right, I'm going to go put a little bit of the Fabri-Tac glue on here because that copper page is kind of slick. You're welcome. I mean, that's how I do it. What's the most important thing I need to do? I'm going to go get that done. Or what's the hardest thing I need to do? Let's just go do that. Because I will procrastinate. I'll go start a project that I didn't need to start. That's how I do it. All right, so then this piece is going to go, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. I think that looks good on the page. Get you the whole look. All right, let's go ahead and glue this down. All right, lots of glue. Put it down right there. There we go. We have a couple of little scraps, so I'll put those over there in the bin. All right, so this is a pretty simple little journal. You could add a pocket to the front. You've got these pages that you can collage over or add photographs, whatever it may be. Lots of writing space in here. So then this is going to go into the pocket that's made from the way the paper sack was folded. God, I hope I did this right. I may have to turn it. I may have it turned the wrong way. Did I? No, I got it. So that fits right in there. This goes right here, and then we can flip this over and move on to other embellishment. All right, let's see what else we got here. I haven't added any stamping or stenciling to these pages. I did get out some stencils, kind of the sea vibe. For example, I have a sea turtle. We could, let's see how that fits. If I were to turn this a little bit like that, I could stencil this little sea turtle right here. Let's do that. So I want my gloves because I'm going to use my Distress Oxide ink. Probably, well, I'm kind of deciding. That's an orange, and I don't know that I want to go orange on orange. And a lot of other colors are going to possibly change. But let's see what happens. If I don't like it, I'll cover it up. I've got Mermaid Lagoon. I'm going to try that. See how it looks. It may turn it a little more green or even brown. But let's see. I kind of like it. It's kind of be a muted color. Yeah, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Turtle! And I think that'll be good for that page. I'm trying to decide what I want to do over here. So let's see if I need a different color and what stencil we want to use. I've got this one that looks like little fishies. We could do that in a blue, but not Mermaid Lagoon. Let's do, I've got Ocean. I may do this one, blue. There's Ocean. Okay, that goes in here. I'm going to lay a scrap of paper under the flap, and I'm going to lay it on this side as well. This is how you work inside your journal that you've already got pages in. Then I'm going to lay the stencil down, and I've got the Ocean and a blending brush. I'm just going to ink that up. And add fishies. Fishy, fishy, fishy. This was a stencil that I made when I did the Out to Sea and Under the Sea. I can't remember which one, but one of those two. Add a little bit more color. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, doesn't that look good? Magic! Mermaids and polka dots. All right, you said mermaids. I know I have a mermaid stamp. And I know I have a polka dot stencil. So let's see if I can find the polka dots. That would be under circles. Red stencils. What do I got here? Well, that one, that's an interesting stencil. Maybe I'll use this one. Well, what did I do with them? LMNOP. They must be somewhere else at the moment. So I'm going to use this one. So this is a collage stencil I made that has different images on here. And I think what I want to do is on this side, do some of the polka dots. I'll come down just a little bit and do it again. Just to kind of add a little bit of texture there. And then we're going to get a mermaid rubber stamp, which I believe I have here. Yeah. I've got this mermaid. And I need a block to put her on. Okay. And ink. All right, I need something. There's a paper clip there. Get rid of that. Trying to make sure it's going to be flat when I go to stamp on it. Okay. Oh, there we go. We stamped a mermaid. You staying in your home? Stay home. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. Clean this off. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away. All right, so we did mermaid and some polka dots. What do I want to put over here? I'm going to use this one that kind of looks like a little seaweed thing. So if I put this here, that'll give me a good gauge of where we are. I'm going to put it more at the bottom, okay? So we'll use the same salty ocean. We may see if I have a fussy cut image that we could add to. Needs a little bit more right there. Yeah, I think that looks good. That is not the lid. That's a stamp block, Linda. Alright, put that back where you belong. Alrighty, so we got that one done. So now we've got the orange. What color did we do on the orange the other? Oh, I used the Mermaid Lagoon on that. Let's also see, I think I'm going to leave that one blank and come over here. I've got a seahorse. So I'm thinking I'll put, oh, I can do two of them. They'll fit right there. Okay, so let's get the Mermaid Lagoon. And let's put that on there. So I'm going to make sure that I've got it centered. I'm trying to be real careful because that spiral in the tail is really delicate. So I don't want to break it. So I'm trying to pounce my blending tool on top to get that color saturated. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I got a little below it, but we'll do this. make it look like we did it on purpose. I may have some little bubble stamps. Let me see if I can find that. And I can stamp that. So I want to do this, maybe. Yeah, just kind of adding it a little bit. See, it's part of the design. You meant to do that. Tiny bubbles in my wine makes me happy. It makes me feel fun. So I got little bubbles. Get the black ink. Need to put these over here. So. All right, let's just add some little bubbles. There we go. I like it. Yes, that's a mermaid stamp in my store. If you type mermaid in, you'll find her, Jennifer. Yeah. Thank you. Call me Glitter. All right, I don't remember. Do I have more pages? I do, but we'll come to those when we get there. I like it. Put this back over here, like so. All right, so this page, this was a gel print, and I turned it into a pocket. And my thought was, I found this image in the Calico Collage Sea Breeze kit. I keep trying to use a doily, and we don't use it. Is this where we may want to use it and maybe make it blue so it kind of stands out? The other thing I can do, this is paint, and it should resist a little bit if I wanted to watercolor the squares, or I could use my blending tool, or I think I just want to paint that. I took my gloves off. We'll put them back on. And we're going to spray it with kind of a turquoisey color and see how that looks. Because earlier you said so cool. That's why you said so cool. That's not the color I want. That's the color I want. You have tiny bubbles in your soda every day. Does that count? Sure it does, Manda Dawn. All right, so I'm just using Curious to add some color to that. And then we'll use my heat tool to dry it. Well, are you liking what I've been sharing with y'all? Some ideas on embellishing paper sacks to make it into a journal. I think I am going to go ahead and do this one more week, because I know that I want to add something to this pocket and then decorate these. And we're already at 5:41. So I've got some cards here I want to put in this pocket. I may want to look on the word sheet to see if there's something we like. So I'm going to get that out. I don't know if y'all can see those. If I position it to where you can read them. If there's one that you see that you think I should use, oh, you're welcome. Okay. So my thought was put this on top of this. I think that looks kind of cool. I'll add some distress inks to the edges of the doily. I'm just putting my finger right behind so that the paper doesn't bend too much in the doily. And I could add a little bit of color. Time is flying by. Did the thunderstorm come, Jennifer? Because I haven't heard thunder or anything here. Okay, I like that. How about Carefree Soul? You want to put that right here in the corner, maybe? She Has Colorful Dreams. We could put that there. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards She Has Colorful Dreams. Joe gave you some points. Well, it'll make this become 2 pages now when I cut this out. Cut it out, man. All right. The storm turned away. Oh, yay! The dreams won. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. All right. This is from Calico Collage. It's one of her sayings that she offers as a digital download. I can't tell you which one it is, but I think it's all about women empowerment. It's all about women, you know, she and her. You can check it out. Yeah, I wasn't going to get anybody talking about the weather again. Well, we don't have the bad weather, so we're good to go. Okay, I like that. She Has Colorful Dreams. All right, let's glue this together. So I'm going to glue the doily in the center of this gel print. I took a workshop at Creativation on doing the gel printing. It was a free workshop I could take. And so I signed up for it, and I really enjoyed the techniques that she taught and explaining how a gel print works. That was years ago. And that I ended up getting my own gel plate, and I've taught lots of videos using the techniques I learned in that workshop. And some of the stuff I've learned on my own. Yeah, she has beautiful designs. All right, I'm going to put this right here. Press it into place. I'll put an acrylic block on it for a moment while I glue this in the corner. I don't know why I haven't taken my gloves off. Yeah, Margie is talking about the books. If you don't have a printer, or don't want to print, you can go to Amazon and check out the books, the cut and create books that Norella has made. Okay. That looks pretty good. All right. Oh, missed. All right, so these pieces, this one is a card that I've made, in that I took the photograph and I made the stencil design. It may have even been a gel print, and Norella used her magic that she has and created these into cards. So I've got these mixed media postcards or mixed media cards on my website. So this is going to go here. And then this is from Canvas Corp Brands. They had a bunch of these Tattered Angels. It's a paper that you can watercolor on. So I'm going to leave this blank and just pop that in there. And then this is a piece of handmade paper, also from Canvas Corp Brands. And I thought it would look pretty just to put this piece on here. Now, does it need another layer, or should we stamp or stencil? I can look to see what I have here. I have another piece of that yellow cardstock. If we wanted to make a yellow square on the card like that, and then you have this side to write on and you have this side. I'm going to use the rougher side to put this on. And this will kind of stick out the top of our pocket. I'm kind of leaning towards that yellow. For some reason, I know that Norella, I should text her. She loves yellow. And so I know she would love if I used the yellow and red together. I have this red, but I don't think it's big enough. No. I could cut a strip of the red. Ah, gotcha. They are, no, they're daisies. They're daisies. They do look like poppies at first, don't they? This was on a card that someone sent me, and it had a sentiment down below the image, and then on the inside they wrote, and I just cut out the image. It has a little fine vine around the border. I just thought it was kind of pretty. I don't even know if it will focus enough for y'all to see it. But I think maybe I'll cut a square out of that. I thought I had another square here. Did I use it? Oh, that's what happened. I put it in here. This will be a better representation. I don't know that I'd make it that big, but I think that works. Use up some of this yellow. No tech. That's tech. Scissors are tech enough. All right. I could leave it the exact size that it is, or I can trim it down. I'm looking at it, trying to decide. I can't decide. I think I'm going to leave it the size that it is. You can't really write a lot on this side anyway. So let's add some distress inks to the square. Okay. Go boss fight! Oh, your notebook is falling apart. Well, you can use this technique of adding fabric to the spine if that's the portion that's falling apart. All right, I think that's what I want to do, is put that in the middle like that. Okay. Glue this piece onto the yellow. Okay, and then this piece will go across here. Oh, do you have a glue spine machine? if you don't have one, another thing you can do is if you can get 2 boards that can be the length of your spine, 2 of them, and big clips like this, you can clip it along the spine and add new glue to glue it back together if that's the kind of spine that you're working with. So you don't have to have the glue press, spine press. If you don't understand, say I don't understand, and I'll try to do a better explanation of what I mean. I think it needs a little sentiment under here. I'm going to see what I have already stamped. I have just journal. How about Destiny is Calling? Maybe I can find a little piece of yellow. I see one. Looky here, what I got. I think it was meant to be. It's like I planned it. The library would be easier. Yeah, contact the library then, and they'll tell you. All right, then this piece can go here. So now I've taken what was a card that was sent to me and upcycled it into a new journaling card. You could also frame this if you want. I found a whole stack of frames that I bought when I used to sell artwork. I was thinking about making some new ones and get them all ready. Oh, thank you so much. Well, that's what happens, Margie. You weren't here for a couple of weeks, and Junkie Joe's like, I'm not giving you any junk bucks. You weren't here. You go to sleep during Linda's show. See what happens. I kind of like it. All right, so this will stick inside our pocket here, like so. We could swap these around so you can see the yellow peeking out. I think I'm going to do that just because I like the way the yellow looks. Okay, that looks pretty cool. We're getting there, just a little at a time. This is bothering me. It keeps popping out, so I may do that. I may end up, instead of having that there because it keeps popping out, is just put it inside here. And then let's find some other cards to put in here. Well, you know, oh, I think I have an idea finally. Oh, it's too big. Let's see what else I have in here. Because this would fit in here. I just felt like I wanted to put something on top of that. Or on the corner. And this would have been perfect, except it's really too big. If it was a little bit smaller, then it could kind of say, well, we use these colors. You know what I mean? Let's see what else I have in here. I have some of these mason jars we could put in here, which kind of helps this paper. I've got some more little fussy cuts, so let's see what those give us. Do we get some more ideas? I've got this seashell. That's kind of big. I have a fishy. That might look kind of cool on there. This one's blue. But I think I like the fishy, honestly. Got some other images, but I think that's the one. Okay. Fishy. I think the fishy looks good on there for something different. So I'm going to glue it down. Fishy, fishy. This is going to be one chunky monkey once I get done. So do I want to put this here, or do I want to put it here? I think like that, where we have, what's going on here? Okay. Variety. Variety is the spice of life, they say. Yeah. And this is over here. And I did not make this a pocket yet. We could. But I do have a pocket over here that we can fill. I've got these 2 pages to decorate. And then I need to add, I was thinking of adding this to the back page. So this is another image from Seabreeze. I'll have to shorten it just a little bit so it fits. And then this is from a calendar. And I was thinking of just cutting off the top and leaving it as 2-sided. What were your thoughts on that? And then I think next week what we'll do is I'll make another journal to go here. We'll embellish these 2 pages and then make something to go in this pocket. How does that sound? I think, look at this. It's getting there. Little chunky monkey. And I have my book bra that we can use to close it. And I think I will have to add some kind of decoration to the, okay, I can get it hooked. There we go. To the ribbon here, maybe some charms on there. But that's all nice and contained in here. Another thing I could do is I could attach this to the journal so that when you unhook it, it stayed with the journal. I don't know. I may or may not do that. What do you think? Did we do good today? Glue a thingy where the pages turn on and on out of the book. Are you talking about the flip outs? You're talking about putting a thing here to flip this out? Or to pull the cards out of the pockets? That's something we could add a little, you know, on the edge here. Is that what you're saying? We could do something like this, where we had a little thing, so you know this flips over. Is that what you're saying? Because on each one, I could put something different. Yes, flip outs. Okay, so you're talking about on the flip outs. So, for example, we could put this here, and then you know that it folds all the way out, both directions. Okay, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna lay a couple of pieces that I think would go. Like, I don't want to do too many. See, I already got this surf here, so I'm trying to decide what would fit. Maybe this. What else do we have? I may have my punch that I could punch a couple of pieces. I also have this piece of paper here to make a little tab. I don't know. I may contemplate this a little bit. That one doesn't fit. Let's see. I could put a flower with that one. Or, like you said, I think I may do the punch. I may change my mind on these and do the punch. That may be what I do. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay, let's see. With undersea photos. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm teaching you. Junkie Joe doesn't want to be Glitter's friend. Oh. So I happen to have this punch. If you don't have a punch or a die cut, you can make your own by taking a piece of paper. I'll find a scrap here I can work with. Okay, this will work because it's a square or rectangle. So I've got a rectangle, so you can fold it. And you can decide, okay, what do I want to do? I want it to have a little curve on here, so I can turn it to the wrong side. And the way to do it is to get you a piece of paper. Is I want this to curve and come down and over. So I've got a little curve. That'll be really narrow, so I'm going to move it over this a little bit. So I'm making a little template, okay? Scissors! All right, so we're going to cut here, but I'm going to cut a curve, come in, cut a curve, cut a curve, a little bit more curvy. Okay, so that's one side. I'm going to flip it around and do it again. It's a little bit curvy. It's a curvy tab. So now I have a page tab. Now if you want it straight, just make this with a ruler and make it straight. Okay? And now we've got a little tab that it could be attached to the page like this. Does that make sense? I think that'll be good. I think that'll work. All right, so but I'm gonna cheat and use my punch. So I'm gonna punch a bunch of those to use for next week. But hopefully I've given you an idea of how to make your own. And that's what we'll do next week. We'll add the tabs. I will see what else we're going to add to the pockets in here and here, which I think we need a couple more journals. I'm trying to decide if I want to cut this portion off and leave it like it is. Does that give you some ideas? Okay. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm going to get off here. Henry should be home shortly, and we're going to eat some dinner and probably check out the weather, see what's going on. I like how this turned out. I'll choose, excuse me, I can't get my words out. I will post a picture of this online here in just a little bit so that those that missed the live today can watch the video and check it out. All right, let's pick a winner of the Junk Bucks. And that winner is, did y'all get entered into the raffle for 200 Junk Bucks that you don't need? I'll give you a second. So next week we're going to do part 3 and finish this journal. I'm still looking at the supplies I have in my room. I'm trying to use up what I have. If you have a theme that you would like to see in the future, do let me know. Leave me a comment after this video so that I see it. If it's in the chat, I have to rewatch the whole video to watch what the chat says. So if you have something that you want me to see that I didn't see in the chat right now, put it in the box below this video if you would, please. Let me know if there's some themes that you think you would want me to do. I think I see maybe some supplies for a unicorn journal, a Jane Austen maybe, daydreaming, which is kind of a floral garden. I know I have some leftovers for that. I know I have some for the Music Botanica. I have supplies to make an Asian journal. Norella has a journal kit. I think it's called Far East. It's really kind of cool. And I found some supplies when I was looking. So let me know what you think. All right, let's pick a winner. That winner is Call Me Glitter. All right, I'm going to go over here and Call Me Glitter. Call me. All right, you're going to have some more junk bucks so you can play junk games if you like. All right, that got updated. Alrighty, well, I'm going to get off here, y'all. Do let me know what you think about the project today. I greatly appreciate your supporting me by being here, your thumbs up, your shares, and of course leaving a comment below, letting me know what you like or what you want me to try or maybe what you didn't like, whatever it may be. Feedback is good, right? Thank you for your donations. I greatly appreciate that. Margie, you are a lifesaver, wonderful woman. I greatly appreciate you. Do something kind for someone else out there. You never know what someone is going through, and it may be that you just kind of pick them up, you give them a words of encouragement, say hello, give them a hug, send them a thank you note or a thinking of you note, something like that. Thank you so very much for being here. Do something creative this week. Get in your space and make a little something. And do feel free to share it inside the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group or in my group by Linda Israel. Alrighty. Y'all have an amazing week. Lots of love to every one of you. I'm so glad that you could be here. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer and Naomi, for being administrators today while Robin had to work. I greatly appreciate that. Y'all have an amazing day. Lots of love to everybody. Bye-bye.